So how's the team's mental state heading into this week after the win?
Tough to say, it's been quick. So I gave him Sunday off to freshen up, hoping it's going to be a long week. They had a good workout yesterday. But our mental state's been good all year. I've been telling people that all year. Like, this team hasn't ever struggled for lack of caring or lack of effort. That hasn't been anything we fought all year. We were able to get to 5th place, so we got a seed that gives us a couple of teams that we've had success against, but that doesn't mean anything this week. Everybody's 0-0.
How do you prepare such a young team for potentially playing night after night after night?
Well,
experience, but
sharp but short practice. Sharp but short practice. You got to stay fresh, have fresh legs. Conditioning matters, though, this time of year. It can be a secret weapon. But you don't want to beat your team up. So I've been doing this a while, so we won't pound on each other physically yesterday or today, but got to get your legs up and down and make sure your conditioning's where it needs to be. But to your question about hoping to have a long week and dealing with all that, you guys got to make sure you try to win the first one, or you won't have to worry about a young team trying to stay fresh and win 4 games.
The bottom of this league seems like it's tougher than it's been in the last couple of years. Oregon State.
There are no bad teams in our league, And look, it's too late in the year. We're all too tired to go into this, me pounding the podium, even though I don't have one, saying
give it a shot.
Saying our league's been disrespected. There's so much manipulation of the net, and so many things that go on in November that have been a massive disadvantage for the Pac-12 in my 5 years. That has caused it, caused the disrespect, or really the legitimate problems of the Pac-12. That'll be I'm sad about the breakup of the Pac-12, but I'm not sad about that. We have not UCLA, not Arizona, not Oregon, but the lack of financial support by their own schools, by a lot of teams in what is soon to be in a league no longer, has really hurt men's basketball. And it's hurt scheduling of a lot of teams. And we wasted time in my 5 years in meeting after meeting talking about scheduling initiatives. And the scheduling initiative is real simple. Look around. So that's been an issue. So what happens is, for people listening, what the hell's he talking about? You got teams in our league that play games in November and December they shouldn't be playing. You got teams playing home and homes, playing road games against WCC teams, other teams that Big 12 teams don't play those games. They don't. And when you look at, you can go all the way back to, I remember a year my man Jim Boeheim didn't leave the state of New York until his first Big East road game. So that's been an issue. And the reason I bring it up is there are teams in our league that are good teams, I think, what you're getting at. But they play games early in the year when your team's really not ready early in the year, and there's a lot of goofy stuff that goes on early in the year. And teams in this league take some losses, but then they become good teams. They got high major physicality, the fact that Colorado's on the bubble is ridiculous. okay, when I have an NBA friend, close friend, extremely close friend, that has run successfully 2 NBA teams, 2, in total charge, calls me after we beat Colorado and he says, you just beat a team with 3 draft picks. It's great for your young guys, blah, 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 blah. And I'm sitting there thinking, and he knows now, like he's not guessing. That's how high up he is. How are they not in the tournament? So, but I know the answer is because what other teams do in your league affects everybody. And that's been an issue for 5 years in this league. So that I will not miss. That I will not miss. Because the teams that you would say in the so-called bottom of our league have, I would say those teams financially at the bottom of the league play a lot of games they shouldn't be playing.
Coach, what does it take to win a win-or-go-home game?
You have to win every game. Winning one doesn't help us. You got to win them all. But you got to win one at a time to really answer your question.
Is there something stylistically that
No.
changes playing in a tournament game as opposed to just a regular season game?
Neutral site would be the difference, which is the beauty of college basketball.
Is there any kind of extra preparation you can do with these young guys to?
There's no time for that. I mean, we just played Saturday night. We play again Wednesday, so you're not going to all of a sudden change. What I've been trying to do, knowing this was the case for the last 3 or 4, since we lost to Utah, is trying to prepare any time we had to be able to play these games and be able to try to win this tournament.
So if the team isn't going to change,
Nobody's going to change.
They are what they are, or all teams are what they are. How do you win?
Score more points than the other team. I'm confused with your question.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is, like, are you focusing on, like, because after the games, Lazar will talk about it. He'll say, like, when we're successful, we out-rebound teams.
Yeah.
We make sure
Our guys know that.
We're doing defense.
That's how you win.
Are those the things you have to
Well,
make
I mean,
sure
look,
that's-
I didn't know you meant X and O stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
look, it's pretty obvious with us. Like, we only win when our defense is pretty effective. I mean, you just look at the numbers of what is correlated to success for this particular team. It's really not. It's not a secret. We have to be the best defensive team in the tournament. We're going to have to shoot the ball well. And then and I'll give you this one, John, for all teams, going into, you want to fill out brackets and all that stuff. Your best players, whoever it is, are going to have to perform. Your best players are going to have to perform. And that's just reality of sport. Patrick Mahomes doesn't perform, the Chiefs are going home, right? I mean, and you just pick any sport, any team. So your best players have got to perform. But there's certain things that every team, like, you win a high percentage of games when X, Y, Z happen. But that's no different for us, I guess is what I'm getting at.
So the big 3, big 4, however you want to call it.
And that's everything.
They got to do it, right?
Yeah, that's everything. And it's nice along the way if you can get on a run that some guys are able to surprise and have a big performance.
What kind of challenges do Bilodeau and Pope present?
They can score. I keep it simple. They can score. So, back to John Day was saying that what has to happen, for Oregon State when they're really successful, those 2 guys play well. Pope and Bilodeau put up numbers for them. They're similar to us, we're of the 355 teams or whatever is in Division I, there's about 5 teams that are young, and we're 2 of them. So, but they're not a team that. I mean, I know we won both games, but we could have easily lost, and those were games. So, I have great respect for Wayne and the job he does, and how he does it. He's a guy, he's a first-class guy, and he does a really good job coaching. So I expect him to be ready.
When you talk about sharp, short practices, does that look like for you just doing all the things you normally do in a more condensed time frame, or focusing on certain aspects for important parts?
There's certain things that you don't need to repeat at this time. What I mean is, we won't. When I say bang on each other, it's physical contact. What I call combat. So we have very little combat in practice, and then exactly what you said, getting it done in much. You don't have to repeat things in March. You shouldn't have to. Your guys should have learned by now. You shouldn't have to go over your pick and roll coverages 5 times. You should be able to do it once, next thing, once, next thing. So you're not trying to be repetitive to build habits. You should already build habits. But you do it with high intensity at a high rate of speed. That's what I believe in. And you have to, you don't move on just to move on. You have to get it right. So, this is a team that's had to learn how to practice throughout the year. And we still have to learn how to concentrate.
When you play a team a third time, do you try to add in like another little wrinkle or something like that?
Well, it just gives you 2 films to look at, the chess moves. So, yeah, you're always preparing what worked. You're preparing and anticipating what worked, what didn't work, and then anticipating your opponent's next move on the chessboard. You try to make sure you're prepared for it. So you get 2 options, 2 games instead of 1. Plus, it's been a long time since we played, 6-7 weeks.
With UCLA's unique academic calendar and this being week and finals next week.
I like how you called it unique. Very, very, I would say, very politically correct and kind term.
Has that, the quarter system presented any kind of challenges for you as a coach with what all the
Not at this time. Not at this, because you'd be in midterms if you were in semesters. The quarter system's a challenge in the spring.
Okay.
Early in my career, we were on it at Cincinnati. And I never thought I'd see it again. But I'm glad. So it's a challenge in the spring when everybody else is getting out of school and headed to the beach, and you got another month. So that's, but right now,